Let's talk about the modern Rockville project. For those who don't know, everything west of 465 on Rockville Road is State Road 36, which means NDOT is in charge of repairs and maintenance to the road. Starting in 2019, NDOT proposed a plan called the Modern Rockville Project. They wanted to increase traffic flow into Avon and reduce car crashes at the intersections on Rockville Road. Well, there are a few problems with this project, primarily with the raised medians that they want to do. Anybody that's driven into Avon from Rockville Road has probably seen a fire truck, an ambulance, or some kind of emergency vehicle driving in the center lane. Well, that's not going to be possible anymore with this project. I've talked to the small business owners that are on High School and Rockville Road. They do not want this project to happen mainly because of that. It's going to be impossible for people to turn left going west on Rockville Road into the parking lot. Since the announcement of this project in 2019, NDOT's been reaching out for comment from the local residents, community leaders, stakeholders, and elected officials of what they would like from this project. And the vast majority, including yours truly, do not want this project to happen. But NDOT tells us, too bad, it is going to happen. NDOT, realizing they're not going to get a whole lot of public support for this project, starts coming up with an idea of how they're going to get public support. And they're going to do it in two ways. One, fake surveys. And two, the most important, make it impossible for people to attend the public discussion meetings. In late February 2023, there was an announcement there was going to be an open discussion meeting at the beginning of March. Now, what I don't like about these government meetings is that they start relatively early. This one started off at 5:30. Well, I get off work at 5, along with a lot of other people, sometimes later than I do. So if you want to attend these meetings in person, you're going to have to leave work early. Fortunately, most of these meetings are recorded. Township, city council, town meetings. There's a whole library that you can go back and watch them at any time. Unfortunately, the Modern Rockville project is not recorded. There is no documentation, at least not for the public. For them, it is. So when they tell us, trust us, how? Why? Oh, I know what we can trust you on. What the project is right now that's going on in Avon. It's crap. It's been going on since 2020 and the road still is not done. It's garbage. I was just there a little bit ago. It's down to one lane on one side. So when you're talking about we want to increase traffic flow, all we have to do is say, no, you don't. And the proof is right there. Unfortunately, I did not go to the March meeting because I did not even know that it was happening. One, I thought the project was all approved and had public approval. And two, the elected officials that went to that meeting did not announce it. Otherwise, I totally would have went to it. Not long after that meeting, a couple of the elected officials, they decided to have their own public discussion. They set it up on the weekend and they gave everybody a large enough time to make arrangements to attend to it. I was there. It was great. The vast majority, if not everybody, they want the project to stop. There's also a woman there, and she was handing out a petition to get everybody to sign it if they didn't want the project to happen, so she could send it to NDOT and the governor's office. So let's flash forward a few nights ago. There was another public outreach meeting, probably going to be their last one, unless there was some kind of emergency meeting, which I doubt will happen. Again, they did not tell anybody until the day of the meeting was going to happen. They made a post at noon, and the meeting was going to happen at 5:30. Now, how is anybody supposed to make that meeting unless that was the plan originally? So at that meeting, NDOT put on a presentation. It was a Zoom call between the director of the project and Pluckebaum, and they were talking about the project and where they are and where they're expected to be. They took everybody's opinions in, and they were changing right turn lanes. They were talking about the medians for U-turns, etc. But I think the part that everybody missed was at the very beginning, where it shows they are mandated to put these meetings on. They're not putting these meetings on because they want to. After the presentation from NDOT, they gave the room the opportunity to give their opinion or comment about the project. Senator J.D. Ford, he went up first, and he told us that him, Renee Pack, and the lady that was handing out the petitions, they all went to the governor's office to plead their case to make the project to stop. Well, the governor's office told them they've had a lot of positive comments about this project, which was very weird because there wasn't a single positive comment the entire time that this project has been going on. So, fortunately, JD Ford supplied me the survey, and if you look at it, the vast majority are anonymous. And I'm blocking out the other names because I've double checked they are real people and they're all giving negative comments. So when I talk about that NDOT wants to give a positive public support of this project, this was their number one way of doing it. And this was their number two way of making sure they got positive public support for this project. Make sure that people can't attend these meetings. If there's a low turnout, it means that people don't really care. Fortunately, there were 50 people, over 50 people that attended this one, including a few public officials, Renee Pack and Jessica McCormick. From what I understand, Jeb Bardon would have been there, but he was on vacation and they did not give him enough time to rearrange things. In fact, JD Ford said that he didn't even know until June 22nd. I didn't know until Jeb Bardon made a post on June 2nd. After the elected officials, Renee Pack and Jessica McCormick, made their public comment, a bunch of the residents in the area decided to make their public comment. And in fact, I have a recording of some of it.
Sir? Sir, are you listening to me, sir? Sir, I'm talking to you. Sir.
Kidding. But that's pretty much what happened. The residents were giving public comment, and you can just tell by the NDOT people and all the project managers were, yeah, we don't really care. It was just falling on deaf ears. And I don't think people will understand because NDOT made it pretty clear these meetings are mandated. If they had the choice to not do them, they would gladly do them. And it was in the first couple of slides of the March 2023 presentation, the one that we all saw a few nights ago. Now, I will tell you, there are elected officials that are listening to us. They don't want the project to happen. They agree with us. They are JD Ford, Renee Pack, Jeb Bardon, and Jessica McCormick. They are listening to us. They're trying to fight for us right now. They're voicing their opinions to the governor's office and NDOT. Now, I think that the people that live on Rockville and the small business owners on High School Road and Rockville Road should take priority over everybody else. Why? Because that's where they live and that's their livelihood, and they're going to be affected the most. And NDOT is telling them, too bad. We're going to make your life miserable. We're going to destroy it for the next 2 or more years. And for the people that live on Rockville, how are they supposed to slow down to get into their driveway? We already know that there's a bunch of maniacs on the road that aren't going to be paying attention and they're going to rear end and they might kill them. Now, is NDOT okay with that? Because I really don't think that they are okay with that. And now you're probably wondering, what more could we do? What else could we do? We have elected officials on our side. We've petitioned to the governor's office. We've made our claim. We've pleaded with them. We've begged them, don't do this. And they've ignored all of us. Well, there are a few things that we can do. Number one, every time a land is being changed or there's development, they have to check for any endangered species that are in the area. So if you go onto the IPAC website, you'll see that there are 3 different types of bats and the whooping crane. So say they find bat guano or a nest. They have to take pictures, they have to take samples, they got to send it in, and we don't know how long that will take, and they do this every season. Why is that important? Because we need to jam them up as long as possible. Number 2, and my personal favorite, because this is what I will be doing, we need to bombard them with emails, comments, posting on their social media. On the Modern Rockville website, is a question form, and you can just keep posting on there that we don't want this project to happen on their social media. Just keep making as many posts as possible about them, tagging them in everything that you can. If there's a phone number, call them. If there's an email them, email them. And I personally know that things will change because I've done it. Last year, during the I-69 project, there was some road construction being done by my work, and it was getting so bad that we were losing customers. So I got fed up with it, and I started bombarding INDOT with emails and to Dan Pluckebaum. And they got so annoyed with me, they got so fed up with me that they started an investigation on who I was. Never figured out if they knew who I was, but now they do now. The point is, things can change. We can make adjustments as long as we stay together and we keep bombarding them. Number three, we do nothing because there's a 99% chance that it's going to happen anyway. We can write as many petitions, emails, bother them as much as we can. The elected officials can do their job and plead their case. We can go to the governor's office and beg them to not do the project, but it's still going to happen. They got too much time and money wrapped up into it, too many promises that they've made for it to be stopped. So my recommendation, which I'm going to do anyway, is that I'm just going to bother them every chance that I get. If the project gets started, I'm going to go even harder. We saw what happened last summer of how long they took. Even over on Morris Street right now, they're going to be delayed for a year on construction, and I don't want that happening on Rockville. So at the end of the day, we probably are fucked, and we're looking at 2 years of miserable construction on Rockville Road. There is a little bit of hope if we can jam them up for a year, maybe a year and a half. The next governor's administration, whether they're left or right, will listen to us and they'll tell INDOT, yeah, the people are right on this one. They don't want it, so we're not going to do it. And INDOT will say, well, what about the car crashes? What about the traffic flow problems? Well, I got 3 solutions to that, and they're all pretty easy, and 2 of them, INDOT can take care of them. Number 1, finish the Avon road construction. It's been over 3 years, and it's still not done, and I don't know when it's going to be done. It took 13 months to build the Empire State Building, and you're telling me it's taking over 3 years to do a 2-mile section of road? That's ridiculous, it's disappointing, and most importantly, embarrassing. This is the kind of quality work, the timely work, the efficiency of work that INDOT is putting out, and they're telling us we can finish this Rockville project in 2 years? I don't believe you. Number 2, time all the traffic lights as they should. You take off at a green light and the next light turns red. You're just the fastest one to the red light after that. There's no reason for any of this, and we know it can be fixed within a few weeks if they just do the research on it. Have somebody just stand out there for a few hours and they'll see what's going on. Number 3, and this is for all the drivers that are on Rockville Road, pay attention. The vast majority of the time that I'm at a stoplight and the light turns green, there is a distracted driver in front of me. They're either on their phone, they're hitting up the vape, they're putting on their makeup, or they're out in La La Land somewhere. It's not hard, people. Just drive, pay attention, get to your destination. If you're in the left lane, you're using it for passing or driving fast. Right lane people, they're doing the speed limit or lower than that. Semi-truck drivers, get on the right-hand side. There's no reason for you to be in the left lane. You're causing all the traffic problems. And really, the vast majority of all traffic problems is because of distracted drivers or they just want to drive slow. I think those are solutions that will help out the traffic problem, maybe stop car crashes. The people, well, that's a whole different thing to talk about. But that's just my opinion. If you want to give your opinion to the elected officials, I'll have their emails for JD Ford, Jeb Bardon, Renee Pack, and Jessica McCormick. I wouldn't expect an email back from Jessica McCormick because she has never once emailed me back. The others, they have. So if you have an opinion, you want to put it down in the comments, you want to message me, email me, go for it. Until next time.